The problem with banking is we rely on it to be accurate. So when it's not accurate, this has a huge impact. The Co-op bank yesterday had what it called a glitch. For small businesses, this would be not a glitch, but a catastrophe when suddenly they're £5,000 short of what they expect to have in the bank because the bank has taken the money twice. It says it's trying to resolve the problem as if this is something, as if this is some sort of bureaucratic nicety. It's not. It's a failing by the system that is there to protect us. And if the bank can't protect its 96,000 small business customers, then it doesn't deserve to be in business. We apologize for the inconvenience caused and are supporting customers during this period. It's an arrogant contempt for the service it is trying to provide. Banks need to recognize it's in the name, it's in the language which is used about banks. Banks provide a service. They are not in control. The customer is in control. The client is in control. And the banks are there to respond to the customer. And if they can't get that right, that is the basic purpose of a bank. If they can't get that right, they should be out of business. Duplicated transactions from months ago. People who are in overdraft because of a bank glitch, an utter shambles of duplicating historical transactions being taken from customer accounts without any notification that this is happening. And it's the customer that then has to pick up the nonsense and report the problems. Our business team are aware of duplicate transactions. Well, only just. It's an awful service by the Co-op bank, but it's not significantly different to the awful service by other banks. Now, at the moment, the Co-op bank is set to return to mutual ownership as part of the £780 million takeover by the Coventry Building Society. Why would anybody want to take over a failing bank like this? But the Coventry Building Society does itself no favours. It's the rescue packages. Who cares what the name of the bank is that you are using if it cannot provide a reliable service? If you've got to keep checking your bank to see whether or not what you think is there is actually there, you might as well be doing the banking yourself. We use banks because we delegate our actions to them. We assume the bank can be trusted to do what it sets out to do. It's only got one job, which is to look after our money. If it can't do that, it should be out of service. It should stop functioning. Now, when I deal with my bank, I'm increasingly annoyed by the airs and graces that it takes on the phone, the tone it takes. It's there to serve. And if it can't get things right, it pays. And it keeps paying. Because I don't care any longer about a letter of apology. I've had too many of them. I want the gesture of compensation, and I want it to get bigger and bigger each time. Because if the banks don't understand their responsibility to the customer, then they will understand the fact they are losing money because of their stupidity and because of their arrogance and because of their failed systems. One of the joys about the old banks was the fact that you had bank tellers and you had individuals making decisions, and people were at the heart of the banking institution. Now people are not, because the person you speak to on the telephone only provides a first name and is quite shirty. And when you refer to even that first name in your second telephone call, there seems to be no record of your having had that conversation. So what is the point? If people and you speak to somebody and they say, "Oh no, I'm not in complaints, or I'm in this department. I can't deal with this." Why not? You're fronting your organisation. You're the person I'm talking to on behalf of this particular bank. You are responsible. You take responsibility when you pick up the phone. You take responsibility when I walk into the branch and deal with the agent, the teller, the clerk who is sitting in front of the desk. These, we have to insist on personal responsibility being put back into the bank. And if it's not there, the bank should close. And if the bank is constantly making mistakes, the bank should close. All banks can make mistakes, of course. All institutions can make mistakes. It's how they deal with them. But to deal with them by expecting the customer to be the one to flag up the problem is unacceptable. If the banks have made the problem, the banks identify, the banks correct the problem, do so with speed, and then apologise properly. And if that apology isn't worthwhile, they throw money into it as a gesture of compensation. Oh, I'm so tired of banks. I'd love to know what you think and what you think of your personal bank. Please be specific.